Hi everybody, Candy from Blessed Life. I just wanted to do a quick short video. We just got over COVID-19. It was no fun. And so I wanted to do a quick video to tell you what it's like, what we did, what we didn't do, and how we survived it in Colombia, South America, which is a third world nation whose medical it's topsy-turvy. It can be good, it can be bad. It just depends on your situation. And so I just wanted to do a video. If this is something that you like, if you're interested in learning more about Colombia, keep watching us. We're gonna start doing a series on different things in Colombia that you can do, especially right now we're in Cali. Then and we're gonna take a short trip shortly, and we can also tell you about other places in Colombia that we've been and show you different places. We are planning on doing a lot more traveling. So if that's something that you'd like, hit subscribe, hit the like button, and we're going to begin. I want to apologize if you hear a lot of street noise. The problem is it's hot in Cali, Colombia, and we are in an apartment without air conditioning. And so, and I can't run the fan because it makes a lot of noise too. So it's just one of those situations, like you can hear, that's either an ambulance, that's an ambulance. The cop cars don't do the sirens as much as it here is in the US. So it's a little bit different situation that way. So let's get into it. What was it like having COVID-19? COVID-19 sucks. I have had whooping cough, which if anybody's ever had it, I had it it was like the COVID in that it kind of lingers, and in our case, it has lingered and stayed, and we're like, we're done with you, get out of here, goodbye, COVID, stop making us cough. But the coughing isn't as dangerous as whooping cough. When I had whooping cough, I would cough until I would literally pass out. I coughed one time in the bathroom and fell up against the bathroom toilet, and actually because I fell backwards into the tank part, I actually broke it and we had to replace the entire tank. So in that way, and this was in Georgia in the US when this happened. So in that way, nothing worked. The Tesla pearls, nothing for cough worked with whooping cough, and it was a very horrible month of my life, basically, and it cost me almost a semester of school. It was very difficult. So the coughing with COVID, in my experience, and I think it's because it all stayed in my throat and didn't go down to my chest. The coughing with my experience and with my husband's experience is it's annoying, it's a pain in the butt. You don't want to be out anywhere in public and cough because people are going to give you the snake eye. And we actually quarantined for almost 3 weeks, not just 2 weeks. So we're pretty sure that nobody can catch it now. And yeah, we've had to go to the grocery store. We haven't gone to restaurants. We're not out socializing and going places without masks. So the coughing for us is annoying, but it's not like deadly. It's not for us. Now I know that there are other people. The lady who cleans for us, her husband has it right now, and he has very, very bad asthma, and he is having a really, really difficult time. So everybody is different in that situation. He's having a very difficult time breathing and coughing. Now we never really had a difficult time, super difficult time breathing. I did at one point, about 9 days in, I did have an issue, and I felt like a little bit of asthma-ish. And so we called my husband, one of his good friends, like it was like God, because his friend just wrote me and said, hey, what you guys doing? I'm trying to get a hold of Jorge, who had not answered. And I said, Jorge's trying to go get me an inhaler because I'm having a little bit of trouble breathing. And he knew that we had COVID. So he said, wait a second, here's my doctor, call my doctor's going to tell you what to do. So we called his doctor, and his doctor gave me 2 different inhalers, and they weren't very expensive ones, because there's some very expensive inhalers, and these weren't expensive ones. And I took one, then 2 hours later I took another one, and I did that every 12 hours. And after roughly 2 days, I felt like I really didn't need them anymore. My husband insisted I keep using it, so I think I used it for about 4 days. So probably like into day 13, my breathing is normal. And so I didn't, and like I said, it was only about 2 days that I felt a little teeny tiny bit of wheezy. My husband did feel wheezy for like 1 day, 2 days, and he took the inhalers too. But God protected us. It hasn't gone into our lungs. We aren't, having any breathing problems. And I praise God for that, because my greatest fear when we realized what we had was that we were going to end up, not being able to breathe and having to decide, do we want to go to the hospital and tell them we can't breathe and risk being put on a respirator and dying on a respirator, or maybe that would save our lives, because my husband's cousins all got together for their mother's funeral, and all of them except one cousin. And I'm going to tell you, I don't smoke pot, but I would like to get some CBD oil and take it every day, because the only cousin that didn't get sick was one that she smokes pot. And the day that we saw her was before his aunt died, and she was high as a kite. And she was the oldest one, so technically the most at-risk one, the most outgoing one. She wasn't wearing her mask any more than any of the rest of them. It wasn't like, she was the only one that kept her mask on. No, I'm convinced. And I'm not a doctor. Don't sue me. Don't say this video has to be canceled. I'm not saying. I'm just telling you what her experience was, and what, if I could get a hold of some CBD oil, I'd be taking it every day right now. But so in fact, my husband has, in that family of cousins, 3 of the brothers are doctors, and one of the brothers had come from Spain, and he had COVID over in Spain. And because he was a doctor, they kept him in the hospital, and he did have a lot of respiratory problems, but he refused to go on a respirator. But also because he's a doctor and well-known and in the hospital, he got fabulous care over there. And he battled it for like 3.5 weeks, maybe more, I'm not sure. And but he's fine now. And this whole family, everybody survived, but one of the sisters who has diabetes and other major health problems, they were monitoring her oxygen level with one of those little finger things, and she actually did go on a respirator, and they put you in a coma. But she also, at that point in time, had 2 brothers in the city where she lives who are famous doctors in that city. It's a smaller city called Popayan, and all their friends, all their doctor cohorts, just made sure that she was absolutely well taken care of. It wasn't like she was in a hospital with just, any doctor, and you're just any person. So I think that really did make a difference. She went on a respirator, she came off the respirator, and she's fine, and she's doing very, very well. And so that was the situation with them. So there are people that go on respirators that survive, which I don't know what stories you've heard, but until that point in time, all I'd ever heard was if you go on a respirator, you're dead. And so we were all very, very scared for that cousin. And it's not true. There are people that go on respirators and live and survive. And probably saved her life. So what else did we do? Or what else was it like? My husband got it first, and so we actually think he got it at the gym because he went to this different gym, but we really don't know. We can't pinpoint. But my husband got it first. He got it, and it took maybe 2 days, and I was very slow. He kept saying, I think it's COVID, but I was very slow to recognize and say it's COVID because I just did not. I was so afraid of that I just absolutely positively did not want to say it's COVID and accept that it was COVID because I was terrified of it. Because basically, as far as my understanding, there's very little medicines that you can do. Once you have it, you can't go get the inoculation, and we couldn't get the inoculation anyway over here in Columbia. And so it was just a scary situation. And so my husband, he was feeling really, really bad. It started off with horrible back pains and body aches and just pain in your back that you're just like, oh, horrible, 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 horrible back pain. And a little bit of fever, we had slight fevers, and my husband, now he had worse fevers, and he would wake up drenched in sweat. He would have to take a shower 2 times a day, even sometimes more, because I said, once you sweat, you're sweating it out of your system. I don't know if that's true, but in my mind, you're sweating the germs out of your system. Go wash them off so they don't stay on your skin and can't get back in you. So that was my thinking. I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying that that's true, but I made him take showers. And so he got it first, and the first thing was fevers, sweats, and bad body aches, especially in my back, especially in the lower back. And it was rather scary. What happened next after roughly 2-3 days was, for me, the worst part. And it was a strep throat, kind of sore throat, that was also in my ears. And I haven't had a strep throat in years. When I was very little, I had strep throats, and I've had earaches because I have my tubes in my ears were very small when I was a child. I don't know if they've ever grown up or what, but I always had trouble like swimming and getting swimmer's ear and all that kind of stuff. It didn't ever stop me from swimming, but so the pain, I told my husband, I said, if I was 6 or 7 and I had this, I would be crying from the pain because, you know, as an adult, you grow up and you don't cry so much from pain, but the pain it was a horrific, horrible, horrible sore throat. And at this point, I took a Z-Pak. I said, screw it. I know that they say they don't work, but I'm taking a Z-Pak, and my sore throat only lasted the 3 days I was taking the Z-Pak. The last day that I took the Z-Pak was the last day I had a sore throat. Again, I'm not recommending it. And see, this is the thing about Columbia. This is the one thing I really love about Columbia, is that you can go to a pharmacy and within reason, I mean, you can't go get actually, technically, you can't get any good pain drugs. You're not going to go and get like morphine or anything like that, or what's the one that I can't think of the one that everybody gets addicted to, Oxycontin or anything like that. You literally can't get that. Even when you have an operation, the doctors won't give you that. I don't even know if they have that in this country. So like when I had my operation, the strongest thing I had was Dolex Fuerte, and it makes you quite uncomfortable and quite irritable to be in that much pain after an operation and nobody's giving you anything to help you with it. So, but you can go say, I want a Z-Pak or an amoxicillin or something like that, and they'll just give it to you. You do not have to have a note from a doctor. You don't have to have a prescription. So we got a Z-Pak, and also his cousin had called. He had called his cousin and said, I think we have COVID, and he told his cousin how he felt, and his cousin's like, oh yeah, you got it. And so, oh, my husband lost his smell. He could not smell, and my husband is like a super smeller. He's one of these people that has a really, really, really sensitive nose, and he lost his sense of smell. I never lost my sense of smell, and I didn't lose my sense of taste, but nothing tasted good. Everything tasted icky. And I lost over 10 pounds thanks to COVID, because oh, and that was another thing. The minute food hit my stomach, I got sick. And the minute food hit my stomach, I would get sick and nauseous, and so I wasn't able to eat a lot. So that was, not pleasant, but I do like the benefit of losing the 10 pounds without much effort on my part. So that, but we did. So anyways, his cousin told us to take these drops, and I don't know what the name of them is. I don't even think you could get them anywhere else but Columbia. And actually, when you read it and you look up on it, it's like drops to get rid of pesticides and stuff. But I think they were very bitter tasting. I think they might have had quinine or something like that in them. And you had to take so many drops per libra or per pound or whatever. How much you had to do it by your weight. So we took these drops for 2 days, and I do think that made a huge difference, but I don't know. The other thing we took was acetaminophen for the pain and the headaches. Oh, you get really, really bad headaches. We got really, really, really bad headaches. So, and a lot of sinus headache and sinus pain. And so we took that. I took a Z-Pack. My husband refused to take a Z-Pack. What else did we do? Oh, and this was one thing, and I'm not saying this is why we got it, because we're always super careful. When we went, first of all, we weren't going out in the public a lot, because there's kind of like a protest thing going on, and it's not really a safe situation to be out in the streets a lot right now. Even though where we are is very quiet and safe, there's a lot of other areas, and you never know when the people who are looting get it in their head, hey, let's, we've burned enough here, let's go there. So we were staying home pretty much 24/7 most days anyway. And when we do go out, we always wear a mask, which you have to wear a mask in Columbia if you go out. They haven't lifted the mask thing yet to begin with. So we always were in a mask. We always washed our hands when we came home. If we were in the mall or in a store and we could go to the bathroom and wash our hands. Some of the stores actually have little sinks. We washed our hands. We used hand sanitizers, sprayed everything with alcohol. The spray that I spray all the doors, I go out constantly in our apartment and spray the buttons for the elevator before we go anywhere, so that when we push the buttons and stuff, I spray the door on the way out of the apartment. If we were walking, we were constantly doing everything we could to make sure that everything was safe and compliant with any suggestions how not to get COVID. And we still got COVID. So I'm a little bit pissed about the mask situation, because I'm like, and now I don't want to wear a mask. Personally, I don't want to wear a mask, because I'm like, screw it. I wore a mask for all these months, and I was definitely wearing a mask religiously and barely going out, and we still got it. So that's my opinion on masks. I'm not saying that people shouldn't wear masks. I think it is a personal situation. I think that if you're in a state, God bless you, where you don't have to wear a mask, but you're older and you have health problems and everything. Like my sisters are like 17 and 18 years older than me, and I definitely want, especially my oldest sister, to go out in a mask, because she has diabetes. She's very, very overweight. She has a hard time breathing just because of the obesity, not because of any problems. Her husband had a heart attack. He's also got emphysema. Yeah, I want them in mask when they go out. So I'm not saying, and I think in Georgia you can go out without a mask now, but I hope that when they go out they wear a mask. So I'm not saying that don't wear a mask. That's not my situation. I'm just saying that's how I feel in this moment. I have some anger that the mask didn't protect us. But that is basically, I'm going to tell you, it was very, very scary when I thought, that first night when I thought I couldn't breathe. Because it was on I remember this clearly, it was on a Sunday, all of the pharmacies were closed, and I was like, I'm not going to any of the hospitals around here. We are in the middle of a protest, so the two good hospitals that are in Cali we would have had to try and cross through roadblocks that are by these people that think that they can just block the roads and protest and throw rocks at people and stuff. So we wouldn't have wanted to have to cross through those, especially with me being an American. And so that was probably one of the scariest nights. That, and just the day that we realized that, oh, this has to be COVID. Now, did we get tested? No. In the middle of when we got sick was in the middle of the protest. Most of the urgency care and just regular doctor cares that we could have gone for our insurance were all closed, and we would have had to go into a center that I wasn't going to go into to get tested, because I was like, if we don't have it, then we're definitely going to expose ourselves, because it's just these little crowded, tiny places that you have people just packed together no matter what. You have people having to wait outside on the street for hours. And so we didn't technically get tested, but I'm pretty sure we had it. I don't know if we will have 3 months of immunities like some people say. There are other people that say that you can get it again. We're definitely still going to be safe. Like I said, you have to wear a mask in public. So even if we do go out for a walk, like when we walk our dog, or if we have to go get some groceries, we had stockpiled groceries like 2 or 3 weeks even before getting sick, because on April 28th, I believe, they started the protest, and that Sunday, so 28th, 29th, 30th, I think it was May 1st, it was a Sunday. I remember going out, and we went to 2 major supermarkets, and we bought tons and tons and tons and tons of food, because everything that we could think of. We bought meat, rice, beans, which we don't eat. I don't even know how to cook beans, but just in case it got so bad that we had to eat the beans, we bought beans, fruit, vegetables, everything that we could possibly buy and think of buying. So we really hadn't gone grocery shopping or needed to go grocery shopping for quite a while. So that when we got COVID, we already had our supply of food, so we didn't have to go out to the grocery store. We didn't, and the drug stores deliver, so we didn't even, when our cousin told us buy this and this for the COVID-19 and see how you do with it. When we bought that, aspirin, baby aspirin, they told us we took a baby aspirin every day. And when we bought all that stuff, they just deliver it. And so Jorge just had to go down to where the security is on the base floor of our apartment and just pick it up. So that was nice. So we really didn't have to go out and have any contact. We really did get to quarantine and do, like I said, we did way over 14 days. And honestly, you don't feel like going out. You have absolutely no energy. In fact, now, because we walked a lot and we were exercising every day in the gym, once this hit and I was so sick, I stayed in bed. I got up and did my 2 hours of teaching every morning by the internet, and then I pretty much stayed in bed for hours and hours on end, especially the 3 days of the sore throat. The pain was so horrific that the only way I could get away from the pain was to sleep. And so I slept as much as I possibly could. And now I'm paying for that though, because I go out and walk, and I don't even walk half of what we used to walk, and my legs are tired. I feel tired. My body is like so out of shape in such a quick time. And I know that my body had to use a lot of its energy to fight this. And so now I'm having to recoup and do it slowly. And I can only do 15 minutes on a stationary bicycle. His mom and dad want a stationary bicycle, and we're in their apartment. So I can do 15 minutes on a stationary bicycle, and I put on a YouTube video or whatever and watch it, and then my legs feel like jello. And I used to do an hour of the spin cycling. So it's really been hard that way. It really affects you in the aftermath. Even now we're starting to feel better. We can eat. I can eat now. I don't get sick every time I try and put something in my stomach. And like I said, we're fine, except that we do get a cough every once in a while. And my voice is hoarse, but I actually think that's the pollution, because we are in a very city part of Cali, and I think that it's the pollution. I can't wait till we go to the beach to see if the cleaner air will clear up our throats. And the lack of energy, we still have a lack of energy, and praise God. I am so thankful to God that we are healthy and that we are over it. We have passed it. We didn't have to go in the hospital. We didn't have to be knocked out and be on respirators or anything bad. 3 days of a sore throat I will take over, being on a respirator any day. And so I'm very, very thankful to God that He got us healed so quickly. I'm hoping that we have now a little bit of natural immunity to this. And I would like to know what your experiences were. If you had COVID, what are your experiences, or what are your families and friends? Like I said, his whole family got it, and I remember they were all saying every day, the pain, the pain, the pain. So they all had a lot of muscle pain and sore throat pain, just like me. And we have tons of friends now that, like, some of them got tested, and we know, like I said, the lady that cleans for us, she got it, and they were tested. She's gotten it, and then now her husband has it. He's suffering. I hope she's got a bunch of kids and grandkids. I hope they don't get it. Grandkids probably shouldn't, because I don't know, because I'm not a doctor, and I don't even know what they're saying anymore, if kids can get it or can't get it. I know that at one point they were saying kids really can't get it. But who knows what they're saying now, because I don't listen to the news so much anymore, because it's so depressing and scary. And I know that the good news is that we have a Savior in Jesus Christ, and through Him, when we accept Him, we have healing and abundant health, and He will see us through. And He, like I said, He saw us through. He saw me through, and I've had asthma problems in the past. I had whooping cough, which I know damaged my throat. And I also had meningitis one time. And I will say meningitis in some ways was worse, but the meningitis only lasted like maybe 4 or 5 days. But I do remember the fever and chills that I had with meningitis were way worse than the fever and chills that I had. But like I said, my husband had worse. He had way worse fevers and chills than I did. So, and that's another thing. Everybody's different. So, like I said, let me know what happened to you, how it happened to you. Where were you? Are you in the U.S.? Did you get it? Like his cousin, his nephew's in New York, and he got it in New York, and he was all alone by himself. Didn't have anybody to help him and take care of him. He had to take care of himself. My sisters are in Georgia. They haven't had it. Don't know anybody that's had it. Haven't come in contact with anybody that's had it. So it's all different. Everybody everywhere is different. And Columbia, it does seem to be going through rampantly. And if it isn't just COVID, there seems to be a lot of flus, a lot of viruses, a lot of colds and things going on. A lot of people that we know have gotten something and they're sick and they feel miserable. And pretty much everybody that we know has now had COVID. And many of them, most of them were tested. So I don't know why it's so rampant right now, especially in Cali, when, like I said, I know that there are people, like his best friend who told us about his doctor, he does work. He can't stop working, and he's crossing through the city. He's crossing through closed roads and stuff. He gets on his motorcycle and takes off on sideways and goes around those people. God bless him. But he goes to his work. So, and I know other people that it takes them now they're taking down a lot of the blocks, so now it doesn't take as long, but they went to work and got it too. So I guess I don't know why. I don't know why it seems like everybody that we know, boom, it just was like an explosion, got it. But praise God, I hope that everybody now has a little bit of natural immunity. The clinics are open. They are giving out the vaccine to older people, and hopefully but one of the vaccines that they have here is called Sputnik, and it's from Russia, okay? I'm sorry, but ain't nothing Russian coming in this body. I'm sorry. But we ain't taking no vaccine called Sputnik. So, I don't know if they have the Moderna or the Pfizer vaccine here. I don't know what vaccines they have, but I do know that the clinics that we saw before that had to close down during the protest situation are now back open, and they're giving a lot of them. Our insurance, I think, said that they will actually come to your house and give it to you, but we can't take it yet because it's people over 60 or something like that. So it's not for us right now, but we'll see what happens. And that's another thing. A lot of rich Colombians are going to the US to get the vaccine, and then they're coming back home. We've met a lot of people who tell us that they're doing that. So I don't know if that's going to help stop the spread of it. I have no idea, because I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you. But I think that if you do get it, hopefully you get, like us, a mild case where, yeah, it sucks, you don't feel good, you have body aches, but in the long run, you don't have to go to the hospital, you don't have to be hospitalized, you don't have to be on a respirator. And hopefully, this, I don't know if the hot weather or something is going to kill it, but we live in Columbia where it's always hot. I'm sweating right now, and I still have it, and we still got it. So, like I said, it's going through the city like crazy. And it's going through the country like crazy too, because they're having some serious problems here. That said, I hope that you are safe, stay safe. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to know what it's like to live in Columbia. It's fun and crazy and scary and all different kinds of things all at once. And I hope that you have a great day. I hope that you have a blessed day and stay safe. Let me know in the comments if you've had it, what your experience was. Bye.